And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. We've got yet another lefty meltdown for you today as a self-proclaimed political commentator, Fahima Mahomed, has hit out and was on a meltdown on live television after Reform MP Sarah Pochin called for a ban of the burqa during PMQs yesterday. As always, it is a delightful watch to watch these tears, but do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and all that jazz. Let's have a little watch firstly of what Sarah had to say, then we'll go into Fahima's meltdown.
Given the Prime Minister's desire to strengthen strategic alignment with our European neighbours, will he, in the interests of public safety, follow the lead of France, Denmark, Belgium and others and ban the burqa?
Prime Minister.
Can I welcome her to her place? But I'm not going to follow her down that line. But now she is here and safely in her place, perhaps she could tell her new party leader that his latest plan to bet £80 billion of unfunded tax cuts, there's no idea how he's going to pay for it, is Liz Truss all over again. Although, considering I think she was a Conservative member when Liz Truss was leader, she probably won't.
Scott Arthur.
What are your thoughts on what...
Now, I don't think that was that quite ludicrous, to be perfectly honest with you. It was a question. Keir never answered anything. I think it was his worst PMQs yesterday, Keir Starmer. Never answered a single question from the leader of the opposition. Still never answered anything there. But as always, when you say something like this, you know, it's a relative point that someone may ask. The left call it far right, as they always do. Let's have a little look at Fahima's meltdown following this interaction.
You're dead against the notion of any form of burqa ban on British soil. Why is that?
Well, firstly, what's just been said is completely contradiction, because firstly, it was said in Iran that women are terrorized, okay? And here it's been said that for wearing the burqa, they are the terrorists. So which one is it? And secondly, when it comes to Sarah, talking as a female MP for the first time, where she could have really raised issues with regards to domestic violence that is really on the rise right now, when it comes to, mental health in women's prisons and so many other issues, she picks on the European far-right nationalists and wants to copy them in British, not secular government.
Hang on. Are you saying that the electoral processes of France, Belgium,
yes,
the Netherlands, Denmark, Austria, Switzerland, Bulgaria, Germany, Italy, Latvia, Norway, you're all calling them far-right extremist nations?
No, the ones that have gone for the ban, I've got the actual results here. All of them that called for the burqa were non-secularists. I mean, they were they were extremists. They were from the far right, like Geert Wilder, whatever his name is, and they were the ones that actually were calling for this. So it was those parties that Reform tries to say that they're not racist, they're not nationalists, but they're following suit. And that is completely against British law. If the bishops, can sit in the House of Lords, why can't a woman wearing a niqab just go down to Sainsbury's and do her shopping? They're not the threat. They are not the ones that are causing terrorism, as some people like to misrepresent. If it's happening in another country, it is not the British law here. We are not secularism here, a sense that we have certain rules for freedom of expression and freedom of religion.
I hear you. We also have a democracy where, to be frank, Sarah Pochin can ask whatever she wants.
Yeah, she said she's a magistrate.
She can ask any question we want. You don't get to tell her what she asks. Nobody gets to tell her what she asks.
She's a free... What a shame that she's actually against Muslim women.
She did not say she's against Muslim women.
By picking on a particular group. And at the end of the day, she says she's a magistrate who would not in court actually represent or speak to someone who's wearing a burqa. Do you know that she could be actually called in breach of judicial impartiality and equality laws for even saying that? Does she not know the laws?
Fahima.
So, yeah, I mean, that's some meltdown there, by the way. But the thing is about, she calls herself a political commentator. She has no clue on what she's actually going on about whatsoever. I think the question was about a security threat. I mean, again, I don't necessarily discriminate. I think, I'm fairly conservative here on this channel. But the burqa, no one's saying something about headscarf. The burqa is the face veil, right, where you can just see the eyes, and that's that. I mean, that's a question that you can ask about it. You know, what's stopping me from putting on a burqa and just cutting about? You know what I mean? That's why I see why it could be raised as a security threat. But she's just going on about being Muslim women and all these kind of things, where actually Sarah didn't say anything discriminative towards Muslim whatsoever, or Muslim women in general. She just spoke about the security threat that could be a face burqa. She never said anything about the headscarf. She never said anything about ideologies or anything like this. Simply the burqa, and that is it. And that's what those far-right countries, France, far-right, yeah, it made me laugh. That's where they made those decisions, based on the face veil or burqa or what you want to call it. Because it is, you can't see anybody behind there, it's just eyes. So yeah, I don't think it was that outlandish, but as always with the far left, they like to be victimized, they like to play the victim card, and certainly she ran with that without any prior knowledge about anything. But Sarah raised a legitimate point, security threat, question, never got answered, and as always with our sort of lefty government and the lefty people that appear on these television shows, they just play the victim card and racism and all of these kind of things, which it's not. Am I the only one who actually got the question? I don't know. But guys, let me know your thoughts on that interaction down there in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.